G'day guys, welcome back to Mango Invest. In this video we're going to break down all the dividends earned in the month of April of 2023. It was a very big month this month for dividends, but before we get into that we'll break down the portfolio so far. So currently sitting at $273,000 USD, and when you change that to Australian currency it's roughly sitting around $410,000. In the last day of trading on Saturday Australian time, we're up by $1,700 in the day, and then totaling just over $25,000 total in USD currency there. The buying power so far is up to $1,458. I've done a couple of purchases of the last week, and I've also deposited a fair amount of money as well as receiving some dividends to make that buying power as it is. Right, scrolling down, some of the big name players. So this is largely a dividend portfolio, although I still have a lot of more growth businesses within it. So such as Apple, like they pay a very small dividend, although I'm up $7,000 total. And then I've got Alibaba with a massive position. Current equity sitting at around $23,000, and I'm actually negative by $13,000. So, not very good with Alibaba there. But some of the more high-paying sort of dividend companies, we've got Jeppy. Every single month they're roughly paying me over $150 worth of dividends there. AG&C is another real estate investment trust, and they pay massive dividends. So I think every month I'm getting $118 from AG&C, which is really good. We've seen BHP do a dividend cut. They used to be paying a 13% dividend yield. They're now paying 6%, which I took a massive hit in the portfolio with the annual income. And then down the bottom here, SPHD is another monthly paying dividend company that pays me $60 to $80 every single month. So they're the big main players within the portfolio. But we'll head in and we'll have a look a little bit more in detail. Okay, so looking into the buys of April, so I noticed Realty Income Corporation was down in the month. So I purchased another $1,000 into the company, and the same with Triple M. I recently released a video of their Q2 earnings reports, and the company is actually not looking too bad. So I put in another $1,450 to get that at a cheaper price, and then hopefully that brings up my annual income a few hundred more dollars. Other companies that I'm interested in buying, SCHD. Most of you guys have heard of SCHD. The big thing with those guys is that they've got a compound annual growth rate of 12 to 13%, which is absolutely huge numbers. So it'd be good to get into that and get more dividends from that company there. Also Visa, so they've got a compound annual growth rate of 17%. So them and MasterCard are obviously competitors, and I did a video analysing those two. And it turns out Visa seems to be a little bit more stronger, and they pay a bit more of a dividend, and it's growing at a faster rate. So Visa and SCHD are probably on my radar for the buys within the next couple of months. Moving on to the sells, no current sells. The last sell I did was Store Capital and GoPro back in January, so nothing to report there. Right, having a look into the deposits of April. Right, so on the 18th, deposited $663 USD, and then on the 26th of April, another $1,324. And moving over to the withdrawals. Right, so last withdrawal and the only withdrawal I did was January of 2023. And I only took out $10 because I wanted to see how fast that money reached my bank account. It was only like 1 to 2 days, so it was very fast. And with that money, I ended up going to a cafe and buying a coffee. So that was pretty cool. Actually using your dividends to buy real world things was good to see. All right, and just before we move on to the dividends earned in April, this is my referral code for Stake. So if you do want to sign up with Stake and you use this referral code here, being ChrisM965. You'll get a free stock, and then I'll get a free stock. So it's free money. Why wouldn't you do it? Just something to think about there. All right, so moving on to the dividends earned in April. All right, so it's kicking off on the 3rd of April. of 2023. So LTC paid me a dividend of $54.55, and they were paying at 19 cents per share. The next one's BHP. Now, just take into consideration, this dividend was supposed to be paid out last month, although they've cut their dividend and also they've delayed it till this month. Okay, so they paid me $498, which was supposed to be over $1,000 with that dividend cut. So it was, very disappointing just to hear that news. But I'll continue to hold BHP. It's still, at a 6% dividend yield. So I've got 279 shares, and they pay me $1.79 per share. The next one on the same day was Bank of America. Paid me $46.01, 22 cents per share. I did a video on the Bank of America with their earnings report and, all the news that happened with the Silicon Valley Bank ordeal. There was a lot of fear into the market of, what was going to happen to the bank stocks, and, the Bank of America declined in stock price and actually bought a further, $2,000 as it dipped. So that was a good chance to pick up, more shares at a discounted price, which increased my annual income there. The next one on the 4th of April was Coca-Cola. Absolutely love this company. They reported earnings not too long ago, and it was very positive for Coca-Cola. I made a video on that one as well, so if you want to check that out, go and do so. But it was $93.47, paying at 46 cents per share. All right, on the 10th of April, all right, the big one, Jeppy, favorite monthly dividend payer. $155.75, which is awesome. I'm only going to increase my position in this one, so next month, in May, this payment could actually be $180 to $200. Who knows? But I'm aggressively putting more money into Jeppy because they're a massive dividend payer. Vici Properties. So these guys own a lot of property on the Las Vegas Strip, paying at 39 cents per share, and ended up getting $81.96 from those guys. AGNC, another massive dividend payer, slightly on the risky side, so do your own research before buying any dividend company here. But $118.47 at 12 cents per share. Currently got 987 shares. They're fairly cheap. I think they're around like $10 at the moment. All right, so now Realty Income Corporation paid me $77.35 at 26 cents per share. I've currently got 303 shares. So this is a company I've been buying fairly aggressively too. Very, very safe monthly dividend payer there. And the last one for the month was the Bank of Nova Scotia, Canadian bank, with $157.67. And they pay quarterly, so every single quarter. That number's only rising as well. 76 cents per share, and I've got 208 shares. So that's all the dividends that I earned in the month of April. We're now going to come to the dividend spreadsheet here, and just looking over the top before we go and give you the annual number. I just want to draw your attention back to 2020 when I got paid my first April dividend. So the very first one was $268 in 2020. Fast forwarding to 2021, I got paid $342. All right, fast forwarding to April 2022, as you can see there, $487 for 2022. And lastly, all right, for 2023, the month of April, they've paid me a massive $1,284. So, like I was saying before, with BHP's dividend getting delayed, it's supposed to be paid into March, being this month here. So, this one should have been, $1,400, and this one should have been, $700. But, $700 is still really good, for when you, compare it to the last April of 2022. It's still, roughly $300 more just in 1 year for 1 month, which is really incredible there. And then this is the average yearly income. So as you can see here, they've had like a nice linear progression over the months and over the years, and we've had a slight decline here. So that's largely due to BHP cutting their dividend, and I think there was like one or two other companies that have slightly reduced their dividend as well. So that's taken a little bit of a hit there. I mean, but when you think about it, scrolling to the average monthly income, it's still sitting around $108 per month, and that's USD. So when you translate that to Australian currency, it's like $1,400 every single month, which is really good. All right, so moving over to track your dividends. All right, this is the like a really good dividend tracker that I recommend you guys using. It's free. You can elect to pay for another option, but you don't really need the extra features that it creates there. So the current portfolio yield is sitting at 4.18%, and the yield on cost is slightly higher, being 4.61. This was sitting a little bit higher, but then, like I was saying before, with BHB and a couple of other companies slightly reducing their dividend, this has had a massive impact there. So the annual income was over, $12,500 US, and now it's back to 11.4. So a little bit disappointing there, but it is what it is. I'll just keep, dollar cost averaging and continuing to buy more shares, and hopefully we get back up to that 5% dividend yield. All right, well, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you liked a little bit of the insight into the portfolio and the dividends that I've been earning over the last couple of months. Let me know in the comments if you like this content, or let me know, any videos that you want me to do. That'd be good. And as always, make sure you like the content, subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and I'll catch you next time.